What's buddy? My name is Max Savage. Welcome to Rat Shack episode 5. In this episode, we're going to basically go over my dream car of what's all the updates on it. Yeah, I have my long hair going on still. Um, yeah, let's just dive into this episode. So anyway, you're probably wondering, Max, what about your C10? I mean the Rat Rod S10. That's still in my possession. It's right now in storage because, well, it's more of a weekend cruiser, more of a collectible piece to me because it means a lot to me. This thing though, I want it to be a daily driver because this thing's not rotted to the ground. It's really solid and clean. There's some rust issues here and there, but nothing major. Really, there's really minor stuff. Um, so straight behind this is because it took a while to get a title. It really did. What happened was the daughter signed off on said title because the dad was dead. And, well, basically you can't do that because, well, invalid title, la-di-da-da. And lo and behold, it took me about a month and a half to get a freaking proper bonded title just to get registration. Yeah. And it is now insured, so that's great, It's insured, registered. But unfortunately, though, this thing needed work. It needed a little bit more work than anticipated. But more or less, it's happy work. What I mean by that is, it needs an engine. I mean, what? So what happened was, the original 350. You saw last episode, it had the original 350 in it. What had happened was, I replaced the carburetor on it. The fuel pump actually worked. I kid you not, it actually worked. The original fuel pump actually still worked. I hooked up a fuel line to a little gas can, and I got to run idle. It actually ran an idle. It actually ran good idle, but as soon as you put it in the gear, it just wanted diesel. It wanted to clunk out. I remember driving this thing within 100 yards. This thing stalled 3 or 4 times. It was terrible. So, and plus it's leaking oil pretty bad. It was just you know what? This is not what I imagined or anticipated. And I said, okay, all right, let's do something different about this. So last weekend the old engine was pulled, and discovered as a 4-bolt main small block Chevy. That's awesome. That's worth money. So I'm happy there. And I discovered this thing actually has a 12-bolt GM rear end. That's awesome. And yesterday, the new motor was installed. Not running yet. Not close to running yet at all. I guess it's going to take a good couple, maybe 3 weeks actually, until I actually get to run a starter fluid. When I say that, I mean, if you guess, what's currently, you may have saw a peek from the cracker of the hood. If you pause the video, you're a smart one, because underneath this hood is something entirely different, more modern, more friendly. If you guessed LS engine, you damn right, boy. Yes, the glorious LS motor. LS swap everything. Do it. Exact same motor as my S10 Rat Rod. 5.3 GM. This came out of a '04 Sierra though. So, yeah, I did take compression. I did take a look at the oil. Everything's perfect. So, should be okay. So everything should be okay. Yeah, you can obviously see, I painted orange. And you're probably wondering, what did it all take to actually get this motor in the car? Well, believe it or not a whole lot. You actually reuse the original motor mounts for S350, which is crazy, and you buy adapter plates, because those motor mounts are a little more further back on the block. So as you can see there, I bought this motor mount kit off eBay for $50. Came with all the bolts and hardware. It's awesome, grade 10 bolts, so it's not gonna snap. It's not cheap crap. It's high quality stuff, made in the USA of Texas, way down south from where I'm at. It is currently mated up to a turbo 375. Yes, you heard me right. Turbo Hydromatic 375, which is essentially a beefed up version of a turbo 350 or a light duty version of the turbo 400. That's all it really is, basically. But really, that's the same case as a turbo 400, I was told. So I'm gonna run it because actually they were pretty good. So yeah. Now, I did use, now, if you're probably wondering, Max, did you install the little a hub adapter, for torque converter? Yes, I did. I actually researched this well in advance to see what I actually needed to make the over happen, and thank God I actually took, thank God I actually did take time to actually do research and actually prepare it. Otherwise, I've been up shit creek right now because there would have been engine back out today, which not gonna happen because yesterday was absolute misery. Getting this engine made at the turbo transmission was absolute miserable. I will go over the details of what happened. It's terrible. Yeah, it's a sad story. It really is. So yeah, I basically there's not much. I'm using the original flex plate for the off the engine. So yay. And I'm using the original torque converter for tranny. It's currently fully seated, and I actually did take the time to make the holes bigger. I did make the holes bigger in the flex plate, and I even took the torque converter out of the transmission, and I actually um, I actually test fitted it a bunch of times with the little crankshaft spacer adapter thing. So yeah, I actually took the time to actually make sure everything was gonna fit up okay before I actually put the engine in the car one good last time. So this engine did have a compression test on. So if you're probably wondering what those numbers are, that's what those are. They're compression numbers. And that's dry. That's not with oil. That's dry. That's dry cylinders with probably a little bit oil residue on the cylinder walls. So yeah. And I'm reusing the original oil pan with the LS motor, and it's not touching the cross member. It cleared everything. I hear people saying, "Oh, you need an aftermarket oil pan if you want to do that." No, I can put my hand between the engine oil pan and the cross member right now, no problem. So LS swapping a C10 is really straightforward and easy and cheap. And this is my dream car, by the way, too. I mean, I actually wanted the LS. I mean, you're probably wondering, Max, did you want the 350 or LS? I want the LS because the LS makes more power, it's fuel injected, and more reliable, too. It lasts longer than a 350 small block Chevy. No, I'm not done. I'm just saying, but anyway, this is a Gen 3 LS motor, which I love. You're probably wondering, this engine looks a little crooked this way. Well, you have a good eye. Here's why. Because the transmission mount is completely broken off. It's currently sitting, let's say this is the transmission cross member where the original mount is. It's currently like this right now. Here's the transmission. Here's the transmission mount. It's broken off like that. Yeah, it's completely like shifted this way right now. I ordered a new mount, don't worry. It was like $15. Yeah. So yeah. Oh, that's a ground wire. Yeah, that's important. I have to install wiring by next week. I expect to have this thing cranking, and hopefully by the end of this month, I'm hoping it'll be running. And then I can actually move it backward and forward and say, "Yay! I own a C10 now that actually moves back and forth flawlessly and doesn't clunk out every few hundred fucking miles." I'm sorry, few hundred feet, I should say. Oh, and and that brake issue I told you like last episode. I found out why. This guy right here was junk. The very back seal where the drum brakes are, the seal was shot. So this whole time, the fluid was leaking itself dry down the master cylinder. It's actually dry right now, as you can see, but it was all wet though before. And I didn't bleed the brakes because the front calipers, the bleeder screws or nuts are stripped or whatever. I don't know what's going on. So the front brakes are gonna get CPR, calipers, pads, and rotors. Rear brakes, I'm probably just gonna try and bleed them because rear brakes don't really do much compared to the front ones. So the front ones are more or less the priority here than the rear. To be honest and fair with you guys, but but this engine is lighter weight than the original 3 block Chevy. This thing is aluminum heads, you know, aluminum water pump. I think that's aluminum. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's aluminum water pump. I could be wrong. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's cast steel. I don't know. Why would it be cast iron? It was aluminum. I'm an idiot. Anyway, yeah. So pretty much this is an update video. I'm gonna slap the intake manifold on this thing real quick just to see how it looks. And this is actually all taped up yesterday just in case. Yeah, if it rained out, and it rained out, and the hood was actually on, but then again, it's really cheap insurance to put duct tape over the engine. Whenever I take the intake off, or, leave the engine exposed to the elements for like a long period of time, like weeks on end, because like tomorrow my headers are gonna be coming in, but I may not have any bolts for it though, because I'm gonna run like grade 10 bolts because these Gen 3 LS motors are very common notorious for breaking bolts off in the manifolds. But I'm running headers, like I'm running LS swap C10 headers, which I see what you're talking about now. Basically, the header kit I bought say it's not gonna work with the original like shifter mount, which I can probably work around that maybe somehow. I mean, I've done crazy exhaust work on my rat rod and make things work, so should have a problem here. And yes, is getting the roadkill muscle truck roadkill style exhaust. I'm going that far. And it actually kept all the wiring intact. So this way, I can actually crank it over with the key and not, a push start button. This is actually off the original starter. Oh no. Wait. What is this? What's this? What's that? Oh, that's why it wasn't. That's probably why it wouldn't start with no. You stupid idiots. So what they did was yep. Okay, I see what they did. So that's a dead wire. So pretty much. What in the fuck? I'm confused, but whatever. We'll figure that out in the diagram sheet. I'll try my damnedest hardest to try and find a wiring diagram color code sheet to see what actually triggers the starter, because I really love to reuse the original wiring for the starter because that's less work to be done. And if it cranks over, all I gotta do now is basically work on the harness. I actually have the harness already worked out. Just gotta put that on, starter on, accessories on. Oh no, wait. Oh no, power steering pump may not fit. Oh, maybe the power steering pump may not fit. I don't know. That's just, well, no, because it'll be down here. The alternator will be here. Power steering pump here. Okay, actually might fit. I don't know. I'm hoping it's gonna have power steering because that's a luxury I'm not willing to sacrifice right now. So yeah. Then I'll grab the intake manifold right away, and then we're gonna slap it on there, observe its greatness, and then probably it for the video then. Oh, that looks actually pretty sick. This is obviously just over the duct tape and everything right now, but you get the general idea of what you're looking at. Oh my god, that's great! Oh, this is gonna be great. This is awesome. That's oil in the intake. That's pretty typical. I gotta make a custom throw cable, all that stuff. Oh my god, there's so much. So the radiator's gonna be here. Look how much room there is. Look at that. I can probably put 2 giant electric fans up here. That will be cool, switch controlled. Don't worry, the original dash will be still intact in this car. I can promise you that. I really appreciate the history and the value of this truck. So it's not gonna turn to a freaking S10 rat rod I have. This is gonna be fixed up and actually pretty much done right, as best I possibly can, I should say. In English, it's gonna get, proper body work. It's gonna get proper, wiring and all that stuff. It's gonna be crazy, but I like it. And I'm hoping to actually reuse the original heater hoses because I want to drive this in the fall and wintertime storage. So that's the plan. Brum, brum, brum. Hook is here now. Angry little voice. Angry little motor. Freaking entire chassis just shaking. There's idles and purrs and it's freaking little cradle. I can just hear it now. This is gonna be great. But yeah. I think this is about it for this episode. Thank you guys for joining me this episode. I'll see you hopefully guys next episode with this thing pretty much done, if not running. I still gotta work out the fuel system. I know what to do. I just need to acquire the parts for it. That'll be because basically that's towards back as usual. Brakes, I gotta get calipers and pads and rotors. That's gonna get real expensive. Tires I might have to get. I don't know. Oh, they're decent. Not bad, but decent. Yeah. Gonna be good. Oh yes, I have one more thing to show you guys. So in this bag here, don't mind the Dremel. Yeah, I was trying to cut the freaking flex plate with that Dremel there. Crazy. Oh yes, parts. These are actually my hardware bolts for the accessory bolts, the starter bolts, and my harness. This is actually a worked out harness for this truck because I have I remember my rat check episode. I remember the episode with my rat rod S10. I showed you guys a pile of crap. I had 3 or 4 harnesses. Yeah, I wasn't joking. I actually take them and actually detune them, modify them to my application. Its application it's made up to an automatic transmission, and don't need any electronic stuff going on. So that's worth. There you go. This is gonna be the what is it? Thumbnail. That's gonna be the thumbnail right there. Just bam in your face. And if you're probably wondering what happened to the radiator, I actually destroyed it by accident. What happened was I was removing the old clutch fan. Well, the fan truss plastic goes in the way. Took a Sawzall, tried my best not to hit the radiator. Towards the very end, tink, hit the radiator. Ugh, destroyed. And it was a nice radiator too. It really was. So I'll have to get a new one. I looked at like $125 or something. They're pretty cheap. So that's what I love this truck. Everything's just cheap. The rat rod was expensive. I think I spent 2, maybe $3 into that rat rod. This so far, the truck itself was freaking $4, which was expensive, but it's well worth it so far. I'm enjoying this build so far. It's fun. It's going fast too, which I like, because the rat rod took me about 2 years to build. This one's going fast, Spare flex plate. I actually used this flex plate to get an idea of what I was supposed to do. And it's a spare one that'll actually fit this engine. Put it in my bin of parts. Oh, yes, if you're interested in long tube small block Chevy headers, email me. I swear I'll give you a very cheap deal on them, because these are actually not going to be used. Because if you want to, instead of small block Chevy long tube headers, here you go. I will give you a very fair deal on them. Or just hit me on Twitter, I don't know. So, oh yes, that's one thing also. The steering wheel Does not want to come off. Oh, it smells funky in here. Oh, my tachometer. My big old 5-inch monster tack, which just suddenly stopped working when I started driving this thing. Oh, that's great. Anyway, yeah, this thing will not budge. I tried every method I could probably think. So this is actually going to need a new stream column anyway. Which, this does click, but doesn't actually function. Like, so turn signals are non-existent. So that's a real kill thing. This works. This works. This works. Headlights work. Taillights work. Wash wipers actually work too. So just about everything actually works. Even the speedometer works too, which I'm genuinely impressed. I'm probably gonna replace the gauges with like automator ones, like a custom like fit dash inside here. Try and fix. That's pretty crazy talk, but hey, I'll try. Fuck it, why not? Oh yeah, the coil blaster too. I also bought a tarp because yesterday we knew it was supposed to rain out. Thinking, ah, shit, we're not gonna get this done in time. We're not gonna make it. We got the engine just before 8 o'clock at night, and it's just like, okay, let's get the hood back on. Let's get the hell out of here. That's what happened yesterday. It was crazy. It was crazy, but yeah, the stance though. This side sits high. This side sits low. So that could be probably because of that, maybe. Flat tire. That's probably why. Or maybe it's the shock or the spring. I don't know. But then again, since that's low, it's gonna drag this entire side low, and this side's gonna come high. So yeah, that makes about sense. But yes, that'll be the first episode, guys. Thank you guys for joining me on this missionless adventure and update of what is going on in here. I'll see you guys next video. Peace.